My sister looked at my son and said, "Your child has no place on a family vacation." Then she giggled. My 8-year-old son went silent. I said, "No vacation. I'll cancel everything." She froze. Mom whispered, "Are you serious?" I smiled and didn't say anything. It was just the beginning. My sister, Sarah, has always suffered from what I call main character syndrome. She's the golden child, the one who gets the Pinterest perfect wedding, the designer bags, and the constant attention from our parents. I've always been the reliable one, the one who works 60-hour weeks to build a tech firm. While she finds herself on my dime, the family vacation to a private villa in Amalfi was my treat. I paid for the flights. I paid for the $15,000 a week rental. I even paid for Sarah's new wardrobe so she wouldn't look poor in the photos. We were all gathered at my house finalizing the luggage tags. My 8-year-old son Leo was sitting on the floor, clutching his small backpack and a stuffed dog. Leo is neurodivergent. He's quiet, brilliant, and the light of my life. Sarah was sipping wine, looking at the itinerary. She glanced down at Leo, then back at me. "Hey, I've been thinking," she said, her voice airy and light. "The villa has a lot of glass, and we're doing those high-end dinners. It's really an adults-only vibe this year." The room went still. She looked directly at Leo, who was looking up at her with wide eyes. "Sorry, buddy," she said with a tiny, sharp giggle. "Your child has no place on a family vacation. It's just not that kind of trip." Leo didn't cry. He never does. He just went silent. He slowly tucked his stuffed dog back into his bag and looked at the floor. That silence broke me more than a scream would have. My parents looked away. My mom started picking at a loose thread on her sweater. "Nobody defended him. No vacation," I said. My voice was a dead calm. Sarah paused, her wine glass halfway to her lips. "What?" "I'm canceling everything," I said. I pulled out my phone. The villa, the private chef, the car service. It's all gone in the next 60 seconds. Sarah froze. The smirk on her face vanished, replaced by a look of genuine horror. "You can't do that. My followers are expecting this. I've already posted the countdown." My mom whispered, "Mark, are you serious?" "We've all packed. It's just a misunderstanding." I didn't look at Mom. I looked at Sarah. I didn't yell. I didn't get angry. I just smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. It was the smile I use in boardrooms right before I gut a competitor. I didn't say a single word. I opened the booking app, tapped cancel reservation, and watched the confirmation email pop up on my screen. Then I canceled the group business class tickets. "The refund hits my account in 3 days," I said, sliding my phone into my pocket. "Leo, go put your bag in your room. We're going to Disney instead, just us." Sarah started to hyperventilate. "You're being a narcissist. You're ruining everyone's summer because of a joke." "It wasn't a joke," I said, "and you're right about one thing. Sarah, this is an adults-only situation now. And since you're clearly not an adult, you can figure out your own summer." But that was just the beginning. See, Sarah didn't realize that the family trust she'd been dipping into for her lifestyle was managed by my firm. Our parents had handed over the keys years ago because they couldn't handle the math. The next morning, Sarah tried to use her credit card at a brunch spot to complain about me to her friends. Declined. She called me 30 times. I blocked her. She showed up at my house 2 days later looking frantic. "Mark, my cards aren't working. Mom says you've frozen the auxiliary accounts." I stood on my porch, leaning against the doorframe. Leo was inside laughing at a cartoon. "A family trust is for family, Sarah," I said quietly. "But you told my son he isn't part of this family's space. So logically, you've opted out of the family's resources. You can't do this." Mom and Dad said, "Mom and Dad are on the trip I rebooked for them." I lied. I'd actually sent them to a modest cabin 3 states away to reconnect with reality. They agreed that you need to find your own place in the world without my son's unwelcome presence supporting your lifestyle. The realization hit her like a physical blow. The silent power move wasn't just about the vacation. It was about the total removal of the floor she'd been standing on her entire life. I watched her standing in my driveway. The same sister who had giggled at my son's exclusion, now realizing she was the one on the outside looking in. "Have a nice summer, Sarah," I said. I shut the door and locked it. The silence was beautiful.